So, when it comes to enlightenment, you can look towards any religion you want, but I like to look at all religions. I like to study all religions, and see if there's truth in any of them. I like to study all sciences. I think more scientists should do the science behind religion, the science behind consciousness, the science behind God, because I really equate God and consciousness as one thing. It's like the apex of spiritual thinking, if you will. Like, well, I don't want to say apex because there's always stuff more that we don't know, you know. But do I think God is a man sitting on a cloud somewhere? No, probably not. But the one energy that exists is intelligent consciousness. That is the one unity being that exists. I wonder if it can act as its own higher self, like if you were to think of God, like I just read a spiritual post and it said, if you want to meet God, go look in a mirror. And I was thinking, technically, you are source energy, you are this infinite formless energy, so you are the purest form of, well, I'm going to say the purest because there are more pure forms of, I'm just saying like the essence that you are created of is indestructible, infinite formless energy. I don't mean indestructible like your body is indestructible, but like your soul, like the very energy you are cannot be created nor destroyed. So that energy I'm referring to as God, because it's what all like I don't want to say the ancient texts say, but I've seen that a lot in the spiritual community, to equate consciousness itself with God. But if there was a God, what would be its physical makeup, its non-physical makeup? It could what are God's thoughts? What are God's emotions? Everyone likes to picture God as unconditionally loving. I swear to God, like that's the number one thing about God, is that he's unconditionally loving. Now, do people just paint this pretty picture because it pleases them and it brings them comfort? Probably majority, but that doesn't denote from the fact that there could be a God that feels that way. But I don't see God like interfering in people's lives. I mean, I know that a lot of people have firsthand spiritual experiences, and I've had experiences with like angels and demons myself. It's really annoying, my life filled with all this fucking alchemy. But it's a long story, but I don't know, I'm just thinking about the concept of God, and like, I mean, there are enlightened masters, and this is like the Enlightened podcast series, like, or Enlightenment documentaries, like, so I'm just thinking, like, even though we all have like different versions of gods, there probably is only, we all probably live in the same universe under the same rule, so like, we probably all live under the same God if one exists, is what I'm trying to say. And then there's that like spiritual way of looking at it, saying you are God because you are energy and you are the consciousness energy that permeates the entire universe, the ether, if you will. And to label that God is to label consciousness in its purest form the most godly thing, truly. And I just wonder if, and even if there isn't a God, could one be created, Since infinite formless energy can do anything, and we are source energy, and we are creators, we create our own reality, and we can manifest things, mind over matter, everything. Like, could we even, maybe we could do like a Matrix type of a Terminator type of AI God, like, how would you create artificial consciousness? Like an artificial being. Like, I feel like this, I'm just feeling like this would end in a very Terminator sort of fucking way. But I'm just saying, if no God exists, how would we create one? Truly. I mean, it's just a question. It's just a question on enlightenment and religion and spirituality, and taking the substances of the universe that are here and then creating something then forth which could serve purpose as a God, I mean, you could say enlightened beings have demigod statue, depending on how long they hold that position, Because I think like a God, like an enlightened being, can always descend as well, and descend from their position of light. And it really is the light that makes you enlightened, I believe. The energy, the God energy that I've been talking about, source energy, consciousness. I wish we could understand like the physics of consciousness so much more. Nassim Haramein has a very good lecture on consciousness and physics, but it's just the fact that we are aware via mind over matter. Like, it's just the fact that all these objects around me really are my mind pushed out. because as within, so without. So like when you think about it like that, you really are one with the universe. You really are connected to everything. And you start to realize how like the universe itself has intelligence encoded in it. And then you start to see like, I don't know, how maybe that one giant web could be considered God. This is like the only fucking thing that exists, you know, source energy consciousness. So it's like, could we create more types of consciousness? I don't know. How would that even work? It's trippy alchemy. But yeah, I mean, Jesus says there's a God. I'm trying to think of other enlightened. Paramahansa Yogananda says there's a God. Sri Yukastar, his mentor, his guru, says there's a God. You know, Moses said there was a God. I don't think Buddha says there's a God. I don't think the Buddha says that. The Hindus say that there are many gods. This is just my brief understanding. So, like, if I'm bridging and looking at all religions, and I'm connecting the dots, because I really want to know if there is one or not, and if not, how would you fucking create one? Or how would you become one, better yet? I mean, okay, like, that would make a good sci-fi movie. But when you're talking about, like, when you're really talking about religion and spirituality and alchemy and stuff like this, like, this is where the big questions are, you know, like in science, like, is there a God? What is and could we create one? What is the multiverse truly capable of? What is space-time really capable of? What is consciousness really capable of? And when you start looking at it from those heightened perspectives, you know, you start to realize there's just so much more out there and so much more yet we have to discover. And if these things really are dead ends, that's still a discovery. And if they're not, then that's, you know, I don't know. Really interesting stuff.